So last year, when my daughter Nina was 6, she wrote me a poem. If you ask her today, she won't remember, but I can't forget. Her inspiration struck during one of our lazy Saturday mornings, which in my house means watch as much TV as you like. Just leave me be in the kitchen to drink my coffee and read the newspaper. Nina's 2 sisters, Caroline and Allie, have no trouble cooperating with this self-evident boondoggle. They pad into the TV room, settle themselves on the couch, and faithfully assume the hard work of staring. Nina, however, is my little indoor squirrel. She constantly travels back and forth to the kitchen to forage for food. Yes, including nuts and also yellow apples. On this particular Saturday, and after at least one yellow apple, Nina came hunting for pen and paper. And finding both on the table in front of me, she began writing. She looked up once with an impish grin, as if to say, yes, you have permission to notice me. And so notice her I did, with my usual mix of wonder and curiosity. Nina has always been a mystery to me. For one, she doesn't take after me at all. Looks? Nope. Personality, temperament? A direct inversion of my own. She is left-brained to my right, literal to my abstract. She chooses fruit desserts over chocolate, cats to dogs, and fact over fiction. Bounding out of school one day, she waved an oversized atlas at me. Look, Mom, a book full of maps. And only maps. Until that night, tucked in beside Nina, I had never read an atlas in my life. I've tried to bridge the divide over the years, searching for activities that we could do together, or at least at the same time. It turns out there's a name for this in preschool: parallel play. It's what kids do when they want to be around one another but haven't figured out how to play with one another. And for Nina and I, this is a very appropriate metaphor. It describes really well the walks we would take when she was younger. She would collect rocks, rooting herself to the earth in purple-sandaled feet, while I stood inches away, watching the birds skitter above. Soon enough, she went off to elementary school and left me and our walks behind. So when Nina interrupted my me time that lazy Saturday morning, I welcomed her quiet companionship. Nina stood over the kitchen that morning, writing for several minutes. I tried reading her first grade chicken scratch upside down until she saw and started blocking it with her arm. And then she finished, pushed the notebook in my direction, and skipped out of the kitchen. I pulled the notebook towards me as soon as I could and read her note. And then I read it again, and again, and again, so I could be sure there was no mistake. Nina wrote me a poem. Nina wrote me a beautiful poem about me. You ready? Mom is a golden delicious, the softest apple in the world. I know. I sat dazed for several minutes, holding the notebook in midair. Nina loved me. No matter how different we were, Nina loved me, and she found her poetic voice in telling me so. Which also led to a subsequent revelation. Nina's a writer. We had something in common after all. My heart swelled with maternal pride, but it was my brain that went into overdrive that morning. Surely her poetic talent had to be encouraged, acknowledged, and I was just the person to do it. I decided to write her a poem in kind, which turned out to be a lot harder than I thought. I racked my caffeine-buzzed brain, but could not come up with a simile half as textured as hers. Nina is as piping hot, as saucy as a piping hot pizza. The poem I went with wasn't much better. Nina is Nina, the sweetest name in the world. Called her back into the kitchen, pushed the notebook towards her with a shy smile. "What's this?" she accused, her face contorted with annoyance. I reached out to smooth her thick, unruly hair back behind her ear. "What's what, honey?" This?" Her voice oozed with pre-adolescent indignation as she backhanded the notebook back towards me. "Where's my answer?" Thoughts ricocheted inside my head as I snatched the notebook out of her hands and studied the verse anew. Eventually I found it, or rather didn't find it. The missing comma and question mark, that is. "Mom, comma, is a Golden Delicious the softest apple in the world? Question mark." I paused, because despite the hard reality of the situation staring me in the face, I wanted to cling to the idea of her words as poetry for as long as I could. But time refused to stand still, so I swallowed my pride and answered Nina as lovingly as I could. "I don't know, Nina. Do you think Golden Delicious are the softest apples in the world?" Thank you.